My name is Lieutenant Robert McManus of the San Leandro Police Department. Last name is McManus. I'm here to speak to you today about a robbery that resulted in a shooting at the Walmart store located at 1919 Davis Street last night. About 11:40 p.m., two men were observed inside the store by loss prevention officers who were dressed in plain clothes and not in uniform security outfits, not readily identifiable. They were first observed on camera stealing merchandise from the shelves and concealing it on their persons, common for people who do thefts within stores such as Walmart and others. As the gentlemen left, they passed several open cash registers. They made absolutely no attempt to pay for the merchandise that had been stolen and captured on the store surveillance video. And as they exited the store, the loss prevention officers attempted to apprehend them and take them into custody. At that time, a struggle ensued between the security officers and the two suspects, who were adult males. And one of the men removed a handgun from his waistband and opened fire. San Leandro Police Department Communications Center received several 911 calls from witnesses reporting the details as they were happening. Responding officers came and actually heard the gunshots as they came into the parking lot. Uniformed police officers entered the store and were able to apprehend two of the suspects and recover one firearm. At this time, we're not releasing any other details. This is an active investigation. We believe that there is a third suspect who is yet to be identified, and detectives are working the case in an attempt to get the person identified and taken into custody as soon as possible. There were minor injuries sustained during the altercation with the suspects. They have received medical treatment and are currently in police custody.
No one was shot.
I do not have information that anybody was shot, but I do know that multiple gunshots were fired in the store. It was open for business, and there were people as well as employees inside. So it was very, very fortunate that no one was seriously injured during this incident.
How many people were in the store?
Yeah, we're not releasing the details on the amount of gunshots yet because of the fact we're still looking at surveillance video and trying to determine that ourselves.
How many people were in the store?
I know there were probably at least 10 to 15 employees in the front area of the store where the apprehension was taking place when the officers first arrived. So 10 to 15 store employees, and I'm not sure how many patrons were in the store at the time.
Security guards.
There were two plainclothes security guards. And once again, I talk about plainclothes. They do not wear a uniform. They dress in civilian attire so that they can blend in with the shoppers and make firsthand witness to apprehensions.
Is it their job to approach and engage like that? I mean, you wouldn't recommend that, right? We've always been told,
So,
what you want, leave.
yeah, Walmart, as well as every other store that has their own security or contracts out with private security, they have their own policies, and they dictate on how those folks operate. A lot of times they are able to make apprehensions that do not turn violent, but in a case such as this, it got violent. It got violent very, very quickly. And once again, we're very fortunate no one was seriously injured.
What did they steal?
That's outstanding. Do you see him also on the security cameras?
I have not viewed the video myself. Our detectives are reviewing that stuff and conducting the investigation, trying to make that apprehension.
So who was hurt, and do you know their current condition?
I understand that one of the suspects was injured during the altercation. I do not know the extent of his injuries, but he was transported to a local medical facility here in Alameda County where he was treated and in police custody.
Hurt by what do you mean, like held down, beat up by the security guard? What type of injuries?
Yeah, that stuff we're not releasing at this time. I don't have all of those details.
What did they steal?
The merchandise, I'm not sure.
There was a blue car out here this morning that cops went through.
I do not know, but I would assume that that is the vehicle that the suspects arrived in.
Only one gun.
Sorry?
One weapon?
We recovered one weapon from one of the suspects, which was used during the shooting inside of the store.
Do you know if he intended to shoot the security guard or up or?
I do not know that right now. The motive for the shooting, the reason why they came to Walmart last night, how or why they chose this store, what the items were they took, or why they took those specific items, those questions I cannot answer for you right now.
Generic description of the suspect's age?
Males between 18 and 39 years old. and that's all we're releasing at this time, as this is an ongoing investigation.
So just to be clear, that car that they were looking at, they took pictures of it, but they did release the car to the woman. I mean, I don't know the owner, but the person was able to get back in that car and drive off. So
Okay.
their part in it.
So I don't know the exact part of that vehicle. My assumption is that was the vehicle that the people that were arrested last night came in, and once detectives or patrol officers went through the car to collect evidence and take photographs, that would have been released back to the registered owner.
The males 18 to 39, are those the ones in custody or including the one that's on the loose?
Including the one that's on the loose.
What's the prevalence of shoplifting in this general area, stores or just
I'm sorry,
How,
please.
how often are they going? Do they have problems with shoplifting a lot here? Do you guys get calls here a lot?
We have a lot of the big box stores in San Leandro as well as throughout the Bay Area that do experience probably a higher volume of shoplifting. They're bigger stores. It's harder for security to detect these people, but they have elaborate security systems that typically capture and record people that are committing crimes within the stores. Walmart does get targeted. It's a large store. It's close to the freeway. It has easy access for ingress and egress, and you know, sometimes people get away with it, sometimes people get caught.
The person who pulled out the gun, is that one of the people who are in custody?
Yes, the person that was in possession of the gun that fired the shots is one of the two people in custody at this time.
What kind of charges, sir?
Attempted murder.
The store behind us apparently was robbed 3 times and had to shut down. I'm wondering, in this particular shopping center, if this type of activity is a big problem.
I don't know anything offhand about the store behind us right now. In terms of this shopping center being a big problem, I would look at the amount of people that come here on a daily basis and how many customers these stores actually serve. And I would say as a whole, or in general, that this is probably not a problem. Once again, last night's incident, we hope, is an isolated incident. It's a great thing that the officers were able to get here so quickly and were brave enough to enter the store while the gunshots were being fired, walking into an unknown situation, and then being able to apprehend the 2 suspects.
We heard employees were in the back. Some of them pulled up for their own safety. Did you hear that too?
I would assume that that would be the case, and as any one of us in here can imagine, if you were at work, if you were in a store, and a violent confrontation occurred in front of you, you're going to turn and run the other way, and that's what we would hope from people. We're going to run for safety, as we would expect Walmart's employees or any patrons in the store that night.
Is it just the one suspect who fired the gun? Is he the only one that's facing the attempted murder charge?
No, actually the 2 plus the outstanding suspect right now, being the fact that they came in together, they committed the crime together. One of them unfortunately was able to escape last night, but we're hoping a quick capture of that person. But being that they acted in unison together, committed the crime together, the shots were fired during the struggle of both individuals, both are going to be facing the same charges. The case will go from us to the Alameda County District Attorney for review, who should be hopefully filing charges of attempted murder and robbery on the 2 individuals and issuing a warrant if he's not captured quickly for the 3rd suspect.
Do you have any leads on that 3rd suspect?
Yes, we do, and we're pursuing those now.
You know who it is?
Well, we believe that we have a person of interest right now.
In custody?
No.
No.
And they were arrested on suspicion of attempted murder and attempted robbery.
Attempted murder because of the fact they fired gunshots at people, and in the entryway to the store, those bullets could have hit anybody, and we all know how dangerous firearms are. On the attempted robbery, it is because of the fact they were apprehended in the commission of the theft because they used force and they used fear against the people trying to apprehend them. That actually turns a petty theft into a felonious robbery.
Are you releasing more information about that person of interest to see if maybe the media can help you track that person down?
Nothing right now. Detectives are working on that, and we may release something later on today once we can confirm that that is somebody that we're actually looking for.
Okay, thank you, sir. Attempted murder and attempted robbery, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any
Third
timeline on the pictures of the suspects, mugshots, or surveillance video?
No, so what we look at here in cases such as this, it really has to do with our main focus here, and our main focus is arresting individuals committing crimes and then putting on a fair trial for them. Once we start releasing photographs of people, if the case is still under investigation, that can taint the investigation if it hits the press too early. If we release video of the actual commission of the robbery or any kind of a crime itself, that could lead quickly to a change of venue to where you see a trial being moved to maybe Southern California or a different county that doesn't get the media exposure like this. So we retain that kind of stuff as evidence. We do keep it close to us. We wish that we could share it with everybody, but unfortunately, with the priority being arresting and hopefully getting individuals convicted, we keep that evidence close and we keep it secured.
Just so I know the chain of events, by the time the police officers arrived, were these two already pretty much corralled by the security guards, or was it your officers who made the arrest or corralled them?
So as the first police officer arrived on scene last night, he heard gunshots as he was driving into the parking lot. He ran into the store. The security officers were in a violent struggle with the two men. Some of the gunshots had already been fired, and some of those shots had been fired as the first officer was arriving on scene. But he did enter the store by himself, going into an unknown.